Y'all digging the filming setup? About to put my phone right here. I guess you just kind of have to do things this way when you don't got a tripod or a real camera, just a phone. Hey guys, it's me Bridget again. I'm back with another video, and my highlight is too strong on my nose. Oh my gosh, the anxiety of this video is already setting in. So I decided to make a video today about something that I just have been figuring out for myself lately, and so I kind of just felt like sharing and seeing if anyone could understand what I was talking about, you know what I'm saying? So today's video is gonna be about my insecurities. I wanted to talk to you guys about both my physical and my personality insecurities, and then kind of discuss what I'm doing to work on them and what I'm doing to change how I feel about them and become more confident in myself. I have my little handy dandy notebook right here, and I wrote some stuff about things just so I could stay on topic, because I find that often when I get in front of the camera, especially when I know I'm going to talk about something kind of personal, I just get that deep anxiety feeling. I have that right now. My heart is beating fast as shit because I'm just so fucking uncomfortable. If you see me looking down, it's because my little notebook's right there. So first off, I wanted to talk to you guys about my physical insecurities. Personally, I'm not one to have a ton of physical insecurities. I don't have a lot of insecurities with my face or anything, or having acne. I just kind of think that those things are normal, or having stretch marks, or having not a strong jawline, or whatever, stuff like that. I just feel those things are normal, and I don't know, personally they just don't bother me when they're on me. I just think it's normal, and so I don't get bothered by the fact that I have a zit or something, because I just think everybody has zits. But however, my biggest insecurity physically is my actual body. I hope you guys can hear me because there's construction going on. So in the middle of the video, it got too loud and there was construction. So I went to go find another place to film, and I found this clubhouse in the apartment complex. I want to live here. Wow, it's so pretty now. Look at the little backdrop. I feel all professional and shit. I should totally film all the videos right in this fucking spot. This is cool. It feels like I'm literally just sitting across from you, just having a conversation with my friend, you know what I mean? My biggest physical insecurity is my titties, my boobies, my breasts. I basically have, they're usually around a size maybe a B, a big B on my period, and then a small B most of the time. And I'm honestly, that's the one insecurity that's probably on my mind the most often. That's the one that I just constantly contemplate, and I'm that's the one that it's classic insecurity. I wake up in the morning, if I see my naked boobs, I'm I don't you guys. Basically, where it comes from is, of course, obviously, first of all, society, because we have Instagram and social media and everything that just makes you feel you're supposed to be as curvy as absolutely possible, and that's the only way to be sexy, and that's the only way to be valuable if you are sexy as a woman. So obviously that holds a big part of it, but honestly, more for me, it lies in two areas. So one is the fact that my family, everybody in my family has giant boobs. My mom, I could probably insert a picture if she wouldn't hate me for that, but my mom had huge boobs her entire life. She was a size double D when she was in 3rd grade. My sisters, both of them have large chests. Most of my extended family has large chests. Off the top of my head, I could only think of one family member who doesn't have a large chest. And that's on both sides of my family. And so like in general, I have always had this like feeling that I'm like left out in that way. And also it's almost like a weird trauma thing, because it's like I grew up believing that I was gonna have this same thing that everybody else has, that like I just assumed was like normal to be on a woman's body when you get older. And then I got older and I just kept waiting and they just never appeared. So like on that side of it, it feels weird. It's almost, and like I feel totally petty even comparing it to this, but it's almost like a transgender person where you're just like, you want this body part that's supposed to be there and you feel like it's supposed to be there, but it's just not. And like you just have to live with that every day. And then because of that whole thing of like feeling like it's just a part of like how women are supposed to look, and then like feeling misplaced because of like my circumstances in my family and everything, it created this whole like weird dichotomy in me about like just my femininity and about like just my ability to be like a woman. And like, so basically what it is it's like, I feel like in this weird biological way, women like, and I don't know, maybe everybody can relate to this, maybe you can't, I don't know, but I feel like women, like a part of us is meant to give comfort to those that we love, and that's a part of the way that we love them, is that we want them to find comfort in our like bodies. And I feel like it's different for women than it is for men, because I don't think that like usually men are smaller and men are like more muscular and hard and stuff like that, and like it's just not expected for you to like have to cuddle up to a man, you know, like it like for them to like be cuddly. But like women, it's kind of expected for them to be cuddly, and so sometimes I feel almost inferior because I'm not cushy, because like I'll like feel, I have a lot of like insecurities of like my boyfriend when he lays on my chest. I'll be like, dang, like you're basically laying on a flat surface right now, there's no cushion here. Or if I hug a little kid that I love, like, or they're crying and stuff, like I'm like, they're looking for some type of cushy material and they can't find anything because there's nothing there. I'm laughing, but like this is literally how I think, and then like it makes me feel very like insecure and sad when it happens. However, it's also funny because I think like I'm not a pillow, so they don't need to find comfort in me, but I just wish that I could give them that, you know what I mean? And then I have like this other side of the whole boobs insecurity, in that it sometimes feels like I did it to myself sometimes. Okay, and tell me if I'm crazy, tell me if this is my mind just like overthinking and like running too far with the idea, but basically like because my family has such large chests, sometimes I think that like I'm the reason I don't have a large chest. That, well, not technically me, but just the circumstances of how I was raised. I've never had meat before. I was raised a vegetarian. I didn't eat any type of dairy products until I was like 11 or 12, because I was like I was allergic when I was a baby, so like I didn't know if I was allergic until I got older. And so I really didn't like have either of those things, and both of those things are like very strongly what like scientists report give women like large assets, you know what I mean? Like chicken is supposed to have like hormones in it that give you big boobs, and dairy is supposed to have estrogen in it that's supposed to give you big boobs too. So sometimes I think like maybe the reason I don't have it is because I didn't eat those things, and then also because like I had like eating disorders when I was younger. Like I used to, you know, I could talk about this in another video too, but like I used to just not eat, or like I would binge eat or puke, or just I had really weird eating habits, and not even weird, but they were just unhealthy. And so like sometimes I feel like maybe I'm the reason and it's my fault that I look like that or this, you know what I mean? This insecurity is like consistent, like it never goes away. Like I always, even like right now in this moment, being 21 years old, knowing that, sorry, being 21 years old, knowing that like my body isn't developing so much anymore, and like I'm probably gonna look mostly like this for the rest of my life. Knowing those things, I still imagine myself at like 24, 25 with the body that like 6-year-old Bridget imagined herself having, which doesn't make sense. So my second insecurity is my ass. Obviously, with boobs and butt, like society makes you feel like you're supposed to have both of those things, and they're supposed to be huge and voluptuous and cushy and sexy, but I don't really have either. I should show y'all what I look like. Look, so I'm gonna put this right here so y'all can see what your girl's working with. So this is my booty, or lack thereof. There's literally like nothing there. I'm probably gonna cut this clip out because this is embarrassing. Look, it's literally like a fucking straight line. What the fuck? And this is so annoying because this is like one of my favorite outfits. I'm wearing leggings and my favorite top that actually makes me look like I have somewhat of boobs, and I'm on my period, so my boobs are bigger than usual. But y'all saw that, like, ain't nothing there. The ass insecurity isn't so much of like an like a childhood thing, because when I was younger, I guess just because of how I was raised or whatever, like I just didn't really think ass was like that big of a deal. I didn't really think ass was that big of a deal until I got like a lot older. Probably also because the women in my family don't really have ass. They have a lot of boobies but no booty, so I didn't really ever think that like not having a butt was like a big deal, you know. But once I did want a butt, where it caused me an insecurity was I started probably around like 14 years old working on my butt, because I like actually like Instagram started getting poppin' and like people had butts and I wanted one, so I started working on it. But I just didn't have like discipline or dedication, the same as I usually don't have when it comes to like YouTube and like anything else that I really want to do in my life. I just really didn't have like the dedication or the discipline to do it, and so I just didn't. And so like a big insecurity is like anytime I see my butt, I always just think about all of the hundreds of days that I didn't work out that I should have, and then it makes me feel like I'm like just a terrible, unworthy person because I'm just lazy and I don't do what I say I want to do. And that's stupid, because then how's your life ever going to change if you just keep living the same way in a way that's not making you happy? And then I just drive myself into a big like fucking pattern of feeling terrible about things. So those are my two physical insecurities. Those are the ones that I think about probably the most often, unfortunately, because, you know, I'm human and I'm not actually that deep, like I'm not Gandhi or anything. Those physical insecurities are probably the ones that are like on my mind the most often, and I'm really trying to work on not having them on my mind the most often, but yeah, they are. Now I want to talk to you guys about like my personality insecurities, the stuff that I'm like insecure about when it comes to just like who I am as a person. The first one that I want to talk to you guys about is like where I'm insecure when it comes to like my sexual / like relational habits. Basically, I was like trying to think of like how this happened to me, but I basically have like an accumulation, and I'm sure probably, I think every woman has this honestly, but like an accumulation of trauma from my past in relation to how I like date or love people or whatever, has basically caused me to be very, very insecure about how I love. And it's insecure in a weird way, because it's not like I have a boyfriend, so it's not insecure in the sense that I'm wanting him to give me approval, but I almost want others to give me approval more than him. Like sometimes I find myself wanting others to think that I'm the best girlfriend in the whole world more than I find myself thinking about whether or not he does, which is crazy and wrong, because he's the only one who actually matters to me. He's the one who's like deep down what I care about. But I guess just like the accumulation of things, like when I was a kid, before I ever even had my first kiss, I was being called like a slut by like my parents' friend, like the adults that were in my circle of people I knew or whatever, because I was homeschooled. I didn't go to like a regular school, so it wasn't like a large group of people. And so honestly, I was just like the pretty girl that a lot of little boys liked, and then a lot of little girls didn't like me because of that. And I was called like a slut, and then they like, you know, told their parents a lot of things about me that weren't even true, and that like caused me to be like pretty much bullied by a lot of parents in my community when I was younger. I had like this long relationship, right, for like 3 years of my high school career, and through that relationship, like I just I don't know, I feel like I learned a lot about myself and explored a lot, but I was still very sheltered. As soon as I was out of that relationship and then I went to college, I went crazy. Like, I was a hoe. I was like everywhere. And so I think like because I did all of that, then, and it wasn't even like stuff that I personally like I was just in a very traumatized state. I could talk about this again in another video, but basically like my college year was a long ass year of confusion and rebellion and just self-destruction, as much self-destruction as I could possibly get. And so because I did that and I was like irresponsible, then I was like rushing to try and figure out like how to be the best like love that I could be and find the best love that I could be, and I didn't feel worthy of having that love. And so I just like kind of like rushed into a whole new irresponsible situation, and that was when I got married. And that obviously turned out super crazy, and I really needed to like slow the fuck down and just think about myself and like think about my life and everything. But basically because of all of those decisions, now where I am now, I have like this built up insecurity about just being a good girlfriend, not being a hoe, stuff like that. Don't take me wrong, like don't think that this is like a slut shaming thing, because it's really not. Like, it's not about not being a hoe and like not wanting to have sex with a bunch of people, but it's more about like I just want to like truly value myself and know what I'm doing with my own body, like know what choices I'm making and how they're going to affect me, and then make those choices wisely. And I feel like I'm in a stage in my life where, I mean, obviously I'm in a relationship, so I'm not about to go be a hoe, but even like in a relationship, you still have to like be wise about your decisions, about how you share yourself, about how you're intimate, like all of those things. And those are the things that I'm learning to be confident in my own self in, instead of being insecure about them. My next personality insecurity is actually a weird one. I have like this weird social anxiety kind of thing going on because I was homeschooled. I told you guys this. So I was homeschooled from 6th grade on until college, and like we moved a lot through me being homeschooled, and my family had a lot of like financial problems, and because of that I didn't really have very much stability, and I like don't really have a ton of friends. And then I also think like just because of like how my family was, like we're just kind of like homebodies, and like we're just very like personal and like kind of a private type of family. I just really didn't have that many people around me. Like if I could probably count on one hand the amount of people who know me from high school and like before high school. And I don't mean know me as in like are my best friends. I mean know me as in know my name, as in know that I existed on this earth. And so basically like, because of that upbringing, I don't necessarily think homeschooling is like the worst thing in the world, but I do think that like it caused me like to be very, very different, almost in the same way as like an immigrant child would be or something like that. But basically, I just feel like, you know how like immigrant people talk about how it's like it's hard for them to find people who can relate to their experiences? That's how I feel. Like, I just feel like nobody really relates to my experiences, and I don't really relate to their experiences either. And it's really hard for me to find somebody who understands what I'm going through. I think that's also why I like YouTube so much, because I can just like keep talking and talking until I explain it to a level that I find acceptable. That like aspect of my life, the fact that I was homeschooled and the fact that I like have such a hard time like relating to people in such normal circumstances, that causes me to be like really insecure on a regular basis, like meeting new people, because I just often feel like I don't get them. And it's like, it's not that I feel shy, because that's like, I want to get to know you, but sometimes I often feel like it's just like the stuff that people do because I don't get it to such a level is just completely absurd to me. And so it's really, really hard for me to like figure out how to like balance and relate and even want to relate. Sometimes I just rather would just make up my own friends in my head and pretend they're real. Now it really sounds crazy. Finally, my last insecurity is in kind of like my business competency and like my creative competency. Basically, a mixture, because of the fact that I was homeschooled, and then people like automatically assume that because you're homeschooled that like you don't know how to like live up to normal standards, and therefore like you just can't compare or whatever. Because of that, and then also because of like just my natural tendency to be lazy and not dedicated to things, I often find myself very insecure about my abilities, even to things that I know I can do. Like, I know that I know about how to like run Facebook ads and start a Shopify store and stuff like that, but oftentimes I feel insecure about like that knowledge and whether or not like I actually am good at it, or I actually could do it, or I actually like, you know, have the potential to like make something happen, because I feel like I just don't have anything to compare to. Like, I feel like I haven't tried to meet standards of normal people often enough in my life, so I don't know what they are, and so then I feel like I can't meet them even if I tried. So yeah, it's like a hard one. So at this point in the video, I basically wanted to talk about how I'm dealing with healing these insecurities that I deal with on a regular basis. First of all, the physical insecurities. Number one, I think everybody says this, but like, obviously I have to remind myself that I'm beautiful. That one, it doesn't go very far, just reminding myself that I'm beautiful, because to be honest, and I think a lot of people feel like this, I don't really think that I'm ugly. I just don't really think that I look the way that I want to look. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I think nobody would like what I look like, or that I think I'm disgusting or like not attractive at all. But it's just that there's an idea of what I want to look like and I don't fit it. So to deal specifically with like the insecurities that I find about my body, I will get more specific about it. First and foremost, I have to remind myself that my body functions exactly how it's supposed to. I am healthy, and my breasts are meant to feed a child one day, which I don't have, and until then they're completely doing their thing and they're healthy and there's no lumps or anything like that. So I have to be grateful for the fact that I have health, and thinking about like my butt, like I have health there as well. It holds me up all day long, and if I feel like I've been lazy and I haven't been taking care of that, then that is somewhere that I can grow and go like work on that and like make that better, so that I can be confident that I have health in my body and it functions the way that it should. Next, I also have to remind myself that comfort can be found in any loved one's body, regardless of the shape or feeling of that body. I have to remind myself that I have laid on my boyfriend's chest many a times and felt completely loved just as much as I would if he had a pillow there, which he doesn't. And so therefore, because I don't have cushion here, he feels just as much loved laying on my chest as I do on his. And I have to remind myself that. Keeping in mind those factors, that I am functioning and healthy and that my loved ones are taken care of by my body regardless, I basically can find a way to be grateful and to God and trust that this was the body that he gave me and he gave it to me for a reason, and that he loves it and that it's perfect the way that it is. And also that if I sincerely can't find a way to be happy with it, that I can also trust in him for whatever decision I make in the future, because plastic surgery does exist and your girl can't afford it yet, but when she can, it may be a contemplation. So now I kind of have to deal with like my personality insecurities, and those ones are way harder to get past and they take like so much more time to get past than like physical insecurities, and they're just so much like stronger on your mind and they just weigh you down like a lot more. When you feel like who you are as a person is wrong, it's a lot more painful than it is to feel like what you look like isn't right, you know? So dealing with my relationship insecurities, basically I just have to just continue. I have to continue to be open and honest with my boyfriend. I have to continue to search for my own truth so that I can be open and honest, and I have to continue to make the decision every single day not to give up on the relationship that I'm in, and just stay focused on the relationship that I'm in, not bring in any other people, not bring in any other people's opinions, and just stay focused on him. I feel like my relationship is like my pride and joy. Like, it feels weird to say that, and it feels like I'm like being anti-feminist to say that like my relationship with my man is like so important to me, but it is. Like, I've worked very hard on having a good, trusting, open relationship with my man, and we work on it every single day, and I choose every single day to be with him, and I'm very, very, very proud of the man that he's become, the woman that I've become in my relationship with him, and just how we've grown as people over this time. And so it is like, it's something that I'm like super, super proud about, and like very much so find my own peace and confidence every time that I like am made aware of how amazing our relationship is. Like, every time that we have a fight and are able to like talk it out afterwards calmly and like put back and like be on the same page again. Every time that I hear somebody else's stories of like their bae doing them wrong, like all these things, they just make me feel more confident in my relationship. And so I think that the more that I focus on my relationship and not comparing it to the outside world or anybody else's opinions or whatever, the more I will be confident in who I am and in like just making Braylon happy and not worrying about whether or not other people think that I'm making him happy. Does that make sense? The next insecurity is my social anxiety. I feel like this one is also like a hard one to really change, because I don't want to change myself. Like, I like who I am. I just wish that I could find people to relate more to, and then also relate more to people. So I think that this one is really just about loving myself, just continuing to focus on loving myself and growing myself. And then I have this hunch that if I continue to focus on those things and I become more solid in myself and more confident in myself and sharing my journey, then along the way, God and life and the universe will have no choice but to put people in my path who are meant to be there and who will connect with me, and I can relate to them, and like they're meant to be in my life. So I feel like this one is just one of those ones that I just have to kind of put off. Like I just have to, like, if I feel insecure in social settings, just realize that it's okay. Like, yeah, you are different. Yeah, I'm not like everybody else, and it's okay if I don't walk out of this situation with a new best friend. I just have to live my life and not worry about it. And my life isn't surrounded by what everybody else may think of me, you know. It's surrounded about what God's opinion of me is and what my opinion of me is. So if those things are good, and you know, my man loves me and my mama's happy, then I gotta be happy. And then finally, the business competency one, I kind of feel like that's like the same thing as my social anxiety issue. I just feel like certain things in life, you can't grow confidence in them without success, because without success, especially with something like business or something, like the opposite of success is simply continuing to try / failure, which is really just trying. So it's like if I'm continuing to try things and nothing's becoming successful, then I just have to keep having faith in what I'm doing until it does. And then I think that success coming to me will create like actual confidence that I know what I'm doing. And until then, I kind of just have to fake it till I make it. That's what I feel like. It's like I know what I'm skilled in, I know how educated I am, I know how like intelligent I am, but I just have to like keep trying. And then as I keep trying, we shall find out if it was worth it. But I think it is. Like, I think that's how life works. It's that it's all worth it. You just have to keep trying. Okay. So that was a pretty long video. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to edit this thing, but I really enjoyed making this video. Like, it was really fun to just get all this stuff off of my chest, just talk about all the issues that I have, because girl, you know I got so many issues. I was thinking about this when I was making this video. Like, honestly, I just hope that somebody can relate to what I'm talking about, because this isn't necessarily the most entertaining thing to just sit here and listen to me talk and ramble about my insecurities, but I hope that it's one of those things that like people can enjoy because they feel the same way. Like, and I honestly hope that, because I hope that they can find some solace in what I'm saying, but also I hope it for selfish reasons, because like I say all the time, I really hope that I'm not crazy. I really hope that I'm not crazy. But if I am crazy, would I really want to change? No. So I guess we'll just find out. Anyways, I hope you guys liked that video. Leave me a comment down below if you understood what I was talking about, if you relate in any way. Leave me a comment if you want me to talk about any of the stuff that I just randomly touched on in this video. I feel like I'm always just randomly touching on subjects in my videos that I really need to make full-on videos about and like talk about them. So if you guys are actually interested in that, just leave me a comment down below. I will totally make that video and totally respond to that. Subscribe if you're interested in my life and want to like become friends with me and learn more and talk with me and teach me stuff and become my best friend. You should subscribe. Follow me on all my social media. I'm probably on Instagram the most often, but I'm trying to be more social. Ooh, I came up with like a little catchphrase for y'all. I hope you guys like this. It's kind of like, I want to get it tattooed on my wrist right here. Mind your business, expand your mind. I love you guys so much. I'm really enjoying being back on YouTube, and I will see you.